Coming up, an Iowa City man is facing criminal charges.
A jazz concert brings students together.
Baseball brings the boom.
Get ready to be walking on sunshine. I'll have your full weather.
All that and more
Coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Wednesday, March 12th. I'm Isabel Thier.
And I'm Cole Creer. And Isabel, I've been loving this weather we've been having recently. I just hope that it continues.
Me too, Cole. And that's why we're going to send it to the third member of our team, Karch Smith, live outside to tell us today's weather story. Karch, are we able to expect some more of this beautiful weather?
Yeah, guys, we are in for some wonderful weather right now. I'm currently standing here live at the River Terrace where it's 33 degrees outside and the sun is smiling on all those walking to class this morning. Looking out on the Pentacrest, today we'll have highs climb into the mid-60s with the sun smiling all day. Tonight, temps will drop into the upper 30s as tomorrow looks to be even better with highs reaching the low 70s with partial clouds spotting the sky. I'll be back with the weather for the weekend, but for now, back to you guys at the desk.
An Iowa City man has been charged with murder of the mother of his child. On January 6th, Joshua Perry called 911 to report that Victoria Scarda had passed out inside their home. The police came in and determined her dead on scene. Days later, the autopsy revealed that she died from assault earlier in the day. Records show that there have been 2 previous calls for domestic disputes dating back to 2021.
Iowa City is preparing to update bike lanes throughout the city. In the coming weeks, city street crews will remove old bike lanes, markings, paint fresh lines. Projects is what take place separately from removal. The work is currently underway and is expected to finish by the end of March. Iowa State Senate has been busy this past week making some big changes.
That's right, Cole, and that's why we're going to send things over to DITV's Felicity Menning in the newsroom for a legislative update.
File 75. This file requires counties with the University main campus or population over 125,000 to elect district supervisors instead of 1 legislator. This will affect Johnson, Story, and Black Hawk County for the schools University of Iowa, Iowa State, and University of Northern Iowa. Usually this election is up to their county charter if they want to elect supervisors at large, by district, or from equal population districts. With this new change, counties with a population over 125,000, or if it has a major university, will have to hold special elections to fill the new seats, and the smaller counties will fill them through appointment. This decision is sent to the Iowa House of Representatives for approval, and then will be sent to the governor for the final signature. Once signed, this final will take into effect immediately. The White House's new tariffs are causing a swirl of price changes throughout the country and worldwide. DITV's news director, Johnny Valtman, is in the studio with all that's being affected.
Thank you, Felicity. And yes, the White House has been introducing more tariffs, and we're going to get up a graphic here to remind you of the tariffs that are now being implemented. As of this morning, a 25% aluminum and steel has been in effect for Canada. As you can see here, Canada, a 25% tariff. Our neighbors down south in Mexico, 25% tariff. And then down here, China, a 20% tariff. And now this is making a big impact on the stock market. We'll get to that in a second. But first, we're going to hop to the European Union, who just this morning sent a $28 billion tariff against the United States, also 26 billion euros. This includes motorcycles, bourbon, peanut butter, and jeans. But not only that, soybeans in Louisiana, beef and poultry in Kansas and Nebraska, produce in Alabama and Georgia and Virginia are also on the list as they are fighting back against the current administration. Now, with all this tariff madness, stocks continuing to fall. This was yesterday, closing out the S&P 500, 0.8% drop. The Dow Jones, 1.1% drop. NASDAQ, 0.2% drop. All 3 of these are really key indicators of how the stock market and the economy is doing, and all 3 of them continue to drop, which is not good, which is giving people fears of a threat of recession. So what can a recession do? Well, there can be job loss. People can lose their jobs because there's not enough money to keep a lot of people on staff. Also, a drop in wages. The businesses are trying to maintain as much money as they can. less business as well. If the consumers don't have the usual money they have, it's going to be hard for them to go out and spend extra money and pump that money into the economy. And of course, the impact on loans and on health. For loans, people may struggle to pay for rent or their houses, and then people also struggling to pay for insurance and health insurance. That could be a big thing. So the economy, really a roller coaster right now. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. The Department of Education is also planning to cut its staff in half. This is due to President Trump planning to dismantle the agency. An email sent to 1,300 employees Tuesday told staff around the country not to come into work on Wednesday. Linda McMahon, the Secretary of the Department of Education, believes this will improve efficiency in the system. Federal funding would still be provided. However, it is still unknown how this will affect students across America. Lots of things happening nationally and statewide, but for now, I'll send it back to Izzy and Cole at the desk.
The University of Iowa plans to make some changes to campus meal plans. DITV's Ryan Lynch has what the university dining is planning and its impact on students.
The current system lets students choose between multiple options for meal plans. The Gold Plan gives students unlimited meals at dining halls, while the others provide limited options. All plans provide flex meals that can be used at some campus retail locations to get an entree and sides. The new system aims to be similar to the one currently in place.
One of the big things was making sure they stayed very compatible, very similar, and even very affordable.
The proposed new meal plans will replace the current system of flex meals with dining dollars. Students will be able to use dining dollars at any campus location, including Black's Gold Grill in Peterson Hall, which does not allow flex swipes to be used. Iowa students are in favor of the expanded use dining dollars will offer.
Every area has the same stuff, so I think having dining dollars would expand the things that we could try here.
Students living off campus will still be able to benefit from the university meal options and can purchase dining dollar plans.
We put together dining dollar plans, so you can go $250 dining dollars, you can go $500 dining dollars, or you can go $750 dining dollars.
And the proposed new plan will go into effect after it gets approval from the Iowa Board of Regents. From the University of Iowa, Ryan Lynch, DITV.
High school musicians from Eastern Iowa came together for an evening of jazz. DITV's Liz Schultz attended a concert and gave an inside look at this event.
88.3 KCCK's Corridor Jazz Project at the Boxman Music Building brought in the top high school jazz ensembles from Iowa City area schools. One of the concert goals is to encourage students to get involved in jazz programs beyond high school.
And we think it's good for the University of Iowa, too, because it exposes them to the campus, the culture, and the facilities of the university as well.
Some of the guest artists featured were former Iowa music students who are now in music education or related careers. KCCK DJ, Iowa music student, and former Corridor Jazz participant says he aspires on that path.
You know, I got to see people my age starting to be guest artists. And I said, wow, I mean, these guys are only a few years older than me. They went to the same high schools we all went to. They're part of the same project I was. I mean, there's nothing stopping me from doing what they're doing.
The Jazz Project not only gives students an opening into the professional and college environment, but it also helps to build a community.
I have a couple friends who I graduated with who have gone to Iowa, and UNI and things, just with college music programs. They've really enjoyed. They were in the Corridor Jazz Project, and they really enjoyed it.
9 bands who performed at Boxman were featured on a CD soundtrack earlier this year. Many of those high schools participating were also selected to perform at the Iowa Jazz Championships later this year. These bands will continue to rehearse the selections until the championships in April.
The annual Corridor Jazz Project will continue into next year and will bring in new guest artists, as well as encourage students to further their jazz passions in higher education. From the Boxman Music Building, Liz Schultz, DITV.
And coming up later, a look at the rest of the week's forecast.
And a look at what's up next for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
All that and more right after the break.
In Iowa City, history is being made every day. DITV is capturing it all. The future of our nation.
I'm here at Big Grove Brewery, where the Johnson County Democratic Party is hosting one of many
Wisconsin, which has been an influential county in American
Elementary School in Las Vegas, Nevada, where a few hours from now polls are going.
historic careers,
And despite the slow start, the Hawkeyes still managed to get their first win of the season.
Disappointing night on the West Coast for the Iowa Hawkeyes, not just because of the loss.
Iowa, defensively, they played a full 4 quarters, but offensively,
student experiences.
I'm at the Ped Mall in downtown Iowa City, the center for nightlife.
I'm here at the Ped Mall, where Iowa City residents come downtown to celebrate a beloved Hawkeye tradition.
At the Iowa City Animal Care and Adoption Center, where volunteers are working round the clock to get these animals adopted.
Politics, sports, and art. Local, state, and nationwide. In front of the camera, behind the scenes, DITV.
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 DITV. DITV Sports.
DITV
is capturing history.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in on thedailyiowans.com or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
Now let's send it back to Karch, who's got a look at the week ahead.
Thanks, guys. Let's get right into it. This weekend will bring some rain starting on Friday. Highs will climb into the upper 70s with storms bringing plenty of rain as it dips down into the 40s Friday night. Saturday will be windy and temps sitting in the lower 50s with a light chance of rain. Saturday night, it will drop into the mid-20s with clouds scattered across the sky. Sunday will have temps in the mid-40s before heading into the coldest night of the week with temps sitting in the low 20s. While students who migrate south for spring break will bask in 80-degree heat, we won't be far behind, with Monday being sunny and 60s. Monday night will sit in the mid-40s, setting up 70s with cloud cover on Tuesday before dipping into the low 40s Tuesday night. It'll be long walks along the river and outside study sessions until further notice. But for now, back to you guys at the desk.
And Cole, you know, with the good weather comes other good things.
Yeah, sports have been starting to heat up recently, so let's send it over to Ryan Paris, who's our sports anchor today.
Thanks, guys. The action in Indy doesn't stop this week as the Iowa men's basketball team tests their luck in the Big Ten tournament tonight. The Hawks snuck in as the 15 seed by upsetting Nebraska 83-68 on the road on Sunday. To make March Madness, Iowa would likely need to make a deep run in the tournament, and that road starts with their game against the number 10 seed Ohio State Buckeyes. Earlier this season, the Hawks lost 82-65 in Columbus when Drew Thelwell led the way with 20 points. The game begins at 5 p.m. and will be streamed on Peacock. Before the tournament begins, the Big Ten Conference announced its men's basketball postseason awards on Tuesday, and one Hawkeye appeared on that list. Peyton Sandfort appeared and received all Big Ten honorable mentions after averaging 16.3 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.9 assists in his senior season. Sandfort started all 31 games for the Hawks and is considered a potential NBA second-round draft pick after foregoing the draft last season. The Iowa baseball team mashed their way to a 16-1 win last night in a standalone game against Augustana. Through 4 innings, the Hawkeyes and Vikings were tied 1-1, but Iowa added 1 run in the 5th and 1 in the 6th for some insurance. Then the floodgates opened. The Hawks scored 8 runs in the 7th inning and 5 more in the 8th to balloon the lead to 16-1, where it would finish. Reese Moore led the way offensively with 3 RBI, and the Hawks relied on their bullpen as 10 total pitchers appeared in the game. Looking ahead to the weekend, the Hawkeyes host Michigan State for a 3-game series. The Spartans are 12-3 and will play their home opener against Michigan this afternoon, while the Hawks are now 8-7 and sit above 500 for the first time this season. The Iowa men's wrestling team added a 9th wrestler to the national championship roster via an at-large bid. 125-pound Joey Cruz joins Drake Ayala, Kyle Parco, Ja'Cory Teamer, Michael Caliendo, Patrick Kennedy, Gabe Arnold, Stephen Buchanan, and Ben Keeter to make it a 9-man team going to Philadelphia. This makes it 13 seasons in a row that the Hawkeyes have sent at least 9 wrestlers to the national championships. And Iowa softball has their first home games of the season this afternoon with a doubleheader against St. Thomas. After letting interim head coach Brian Levine go, the Hawks went 1-3 over the weekend in the Alabama Spring Break Showdown and look to end a 3-game losing streak. But at 14-7, the Tommies are on the opposite trajectory, riding a 9-game winning streak into Iowa City. That's all we got for sports today. I'll send it back over to the desk.
Thank you, Ryan. I know I enjoy the sports, and it makes me happy seeing everything going on.
Yeah, we have big stuff coming up with the Hawkeyes. The Hawkeyes are in Indy this week. We got March Madness coming up. I'm just excited to start making some brackets, Isabel.
Me too. I love my March Madness brackets. And thank you for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. and online anytime at dailyiowans.com.
For Felicity Menning and Johnny Voltman, I'm Isabel Thier.
And for Karch Smith and Ryan Paris, I'm Cole Krieger. See you again on Friday morning right here on DITV.